Hi, Gigi gang. What's up? It's Cassie,
And Kristen.
and we are excited to be back chatting about all the things. Miss Kristen
Gossiping
is
about
the
all the things.
yes, gossiping. Excuse me. We're Gossip Girlies. So Kristen is going to start by talking about something I had no idea about. I didn't even know it existed. So I am very intrigued to hear what Kristen has to say right now.
Okay, well, if you didn't know that this existed, then this is just further evidence that we are on like just complete opposite ends of the internet. Like we're not even in the same solar system. Because every time I get on Instagram and Twitter, whatever it is, I'm seeing something going on about this thing. And what I want to talk about is Prince Harry's book, Spare, that's coming out on Tuesday, the 10th. We're recording this on Sunday. So by the time you're listening to this, the book will be out. But it's called Spare, and it's Prince Harry's memoir written by him. This is like the first, like first person kind of thing that he's ever written. Which, by the way, do you know where the book's called Spare? Do you know where that term comes from?
Honestly, as soon as you said the title, I was like, what does that even mean?
So people say, I think it's like an old like royal thing that people say in royal families, you have the heir and the spare. So like in this case,
Oh,
like Harry is the spare
like the spare
because
tire.
exactly, yeah, like the spare kid. Like William is the heir and then Harry is the spare. So that's why
Wow.
it's called Spare, which automatically off the bat, like just hearing when I first saw that the memoir is going to be titled that, I was like, oh, like this is where this is going. Like
Yeah, that's
very,
definitely alluding to some tea being spilled.
that is a tone setter for sure because people, will say the heir and the spare. But obviously, he is very aware that that's aware that he is the spare. Um, but it's not like you know. Memories of a prince or like something like
The
whimsical
life of
like
a
that.
prince boy.
Exactly. And the cover is just like a front on shot of him having a very like neutral face.
Is it black and white?
No, it's in color.
Okay, okay.
But it's like a really like close up picture and it just says spare. So there's been a ton of activity with Harry and Meghan recently. If y'all saw the Instagram story I posted a while ago, it was shortly before the new year, but Harry and Meghan came out with like a 6-part Netflix documentary, basically about themselves.
Yes.
Um, we won't go down that path, but I'll just say they put it out there. But they're like really active now in terms of like they have a podcast and they have like
Oh,
other like blogs and stuff that they do. Yeah. But this was all leading up to, Harry's memoir. So with Harry's memoir coming out, a few things have leaked slash, are strategically placed because if you know
mm-hmm.
anything about the royal family, like nothing is really leaked,
Mm-hmm.
like the actual good stuff does not get leaked. It gets like
Right.
strategically sort of like given out to the media. So anyways,
Right, right.
there's been a lot of tea droplets being spilt to,
Okay.
drive up those book sales. The first one being, which obviously we all want to know the relationship between Harry and William. Well, Harry tells a story in the memoir about William like pushing him to the ground. Like when Harry and Meghan were dating, William had a conversation with Harry, pushed him to the ground. William, like, or excuse me, Harry, like, fell onto a dog bowl that broke into a million pieces and, like, glass got stuck in his back.
Oh my God, that's so dangerous.
Yes, there was a
It'll like
lot
hit
of,
a spinal cord or something. Oh my God.
yes. So,
I'm like over here like Grey's Anatomy and the shit out of it. I'm like,
oh
what if he had a
no.
spinal cord injury? Oh my God.
Can you imagine? Oh my God, I wonder how the royal family would like cover that up.
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
If it was actually because it all stemmed from an argument that they were having about Megan. Like because,
Mm,
we've heard rumblings forever that like the royal family doesn't like Megan,
right.
for a variety of reasons, whether they are racially motivated or she's American, whatever. So that came out. So we're like, okay, Harry, like there are no holds barred here. So I mean, I would be intrigued anyways, even if it were like the biggest like fluff piece ever of him,
Hmm.
you know, writing about how much he loved growing up in the royal family and everything's wonderful and great, beautiful. But
Hmm.
no, sounds like it's going to be very delicious tea. And I'm very intrigued. So I definitely will be reading. If you want to hear my review, I can gladly give that. But I understand that you don't really care at all about the royal family. So,
Look, I'm going to be really honest with you. In general, it's not that I don't care at all. It's not something that I seek out. Or
okay.
maybe even like you were saying, like we're on different sides of the internet, which makes for great podcast content because then we can talk
Mhm.
about all the things. Um, you have me interested for sure,
Okay.
especially with that story. I think what I would say is I'm definitely very interested in hearing your review and hearing the hot takes from it. Will I be reading it? Probably not. But will I say that Kristen Steele's review is probably more interesting to me than the book in general? That's 100% accurate.
I am touched. That's
Yes.
so nice of you to say. Thank you so much.
Yeah, why read when you can tell me about it? So much better.
So, also speaking of which, I follow a royal blogger, and it literally, she just started as an Instagrammer, just like post. She was just obsessed with the royal family, and
Uh-huh.
so she started posting Instagram stories, especially about fashion that the women would wear. But now she's like created a whole career. Like she wrote a book. She's on TV all the time. She's on podcasts all the time.
Oh,
Anyways,
wow.
so she is like knee deep in all of this, you know. And so all this stuff is coming out, especially in the British media, just headlines about what the book is going to, you know, some of the things that are going to be in the book. And she has refused to really pay any of it any attention because she's like, I know that these are just sort of like clickbaity headline
Mm-hmm.
kind of things. Like these are just the most like crazy parts of the book. She's like, I want to get the entire, like, I want the whole context of the book kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then additionally, she was like, I also don't want to read the book. I want to hear it as an audiobook because she was
Okay.
like, I want to hear Harry's voice
Right. And where he like
saying it.
fluctuates and maybe hesitates a little bit more and things like that.
Right. Which I definitely like, I definitely feel like that puts an even bigger like emphasis on certain things that you may not have caught by reading it. And
Right.
so I'm currently dabbling in audiobooks right now.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't ever been like the biggest audiobook girly,
Yeah.
but I'm doing one right now and I so far so good. I'm liking it. And I have heard that people say that, you know, especially with memoirs, it's
Mm-hmm.
really powerful to hear the person narrating the audiobook. Like,
Mm-hmm.
did you read Jessica Simpson's memoir?
Oh, did I?
Okay, I was gonna
Yes.
say, I thought you did. Did you read it or did you do the audiobook?
I read it. I definitely would have loved to have heard it in her voice though, because she
Okay.
talks about like stuff that most people wouldn't talk about in their lives.
Yeah.
Which read it or audiobook 100% would recommend that. And y'all know
Mm.
I don't read. So the
That's
two
not
books y'all have
true.
heard that I have read are Farrah Abrams and Jessica Simpson, if that tells you anything.
Well, I was gonna say you had a lot to say about Miss Farah's book, so
Honestly, it was good. I flew through it. It was great.
you just couldn't put it down.
Yeah, I couldn't put that Kindle down. It was attached to my hip.
So I'm very much anticipating this book. I'm like trying to kind of, as much as I love the noise and reading, like, oh my God, like that's gonna be in there. I'm trying to block it out because it's also like if you step back and take a look at all of this, I kind of had weird feelings about the whole Harry and Meghan thing because it's
Hmm.
like they removed themselves from the royal family and moved to California just because they were like, we hate the spotlight. We want people to leave us
Yes.
alone. Then it's like,
Yes.
man, so then why are you out here writing whole ass memoirs
Oh
where
my
you
gosh.
are like divulging your family's biggest secrets? I mean, live your life,
Exactly.
but like, I
It's like
don't
we had
know.
literally forgotten about y'all. And then all of a sudden you're out here making documentaries and being on podcasts, starting your own podcast, writing blogs,
Mm-hmm.
writing books. It's just like I need y'all to pick a lane. Like we all respected when you decided to leave and that you didn't want that. And we were like, "Oh, that's cool. Like y'all do whatever." But then
Right.
it's like now you're coming back and doing the opposite of everything that you said you wanted to do. And I understand that they got paid a lot of money for that Netflix documentary.
Oh,
And
I'm
I'm
sure.
sure that book is going to earn him a pretty penny.
Yes.
So it kind of makes you wonder, like, were they running out of money? Were they not able to find another source of income?
I know, because that's a big thing is now that they're like completely cut off from royal funding. And they were talking about it in the Netflix documentary too, that they
Mm-hmm.
even lost their, like, the royal family isn't paying for their security anymore. That's
Mm,
part of it. And of course, like, with them, they like need a lot of security and stuff.
right.
Um, so I agree where I'm like, are y'all I don't know, but it's like I feel like there are other ways that you could do this rather than like putting out memoirs and making Netflix documentaries, which also, why don't you space it out a little bit?
I
Like,
know. It's like they fucking vomited their presence on us.
right. And I feel like it's so interesting to me, like when Jessica Simpson put out her book. To me,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you get one memoir and that's it.
Yeah.
Unless you are like the Pope or something. I don't know. But like, Harry, this is your one book. Like, you sure you want to do it now? You don't want to wait 10 years?
Right. To when we've kind
Build
of
it
like
something?
forgotten a little bit about you and now you got to bring it back up.
Right. Whereas now, like, it's just, I mean, granted, I am not doing a very good job of avoiding it, but like, I could be like you and just have absolutely no idea what's going on. But there's just a ton of content out there that they're shoving down our throats. And it's just like, do y'all just want to like chill for a year or two and then come back?
Like, where are your kids?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
We Archie and Lilibet.
Lilibet.
Yes.
That is something.
Well, to be fair, that is Queen Elizabeth's nickname.
Oh, okay. We'll let it
But they
slide.
they like dead ass named her Lilibet though. Like that's like the baby's name.
Oh, yeah. Now, Archie is cute. I like Archie.
Yeah, that is cute and fun. It is.
I just don't know how it'll appear on like a 30-year-old man, though. Like, it's cute because he's a baby, but
I know. I think that all the time now because I mean we are just in the day and age right now where people just be naming their babies whatever, and it's just like
literally.
and I'm like, are you gonna work with a 40-year-old named Kinsley?
Exactly.
Like that's so
Exactly.
weird to me. I don't know.
I remember the first time I ever thought about that was literally when Macy from Teen Mom named her son Bentley because I was like, "Oh, that's cute." And when he was little, it was so cute. But then I was like, could you imagine going into like a carpet land and the general manager who's helping you purchase your rugs name is fucking Bentley? Like,
Not the carpet land.
I mean, sorry, Bentley, I don't really see you going too far in life, but at least I made you the general manager.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But
Oh
just
my
thinking
God.
about a
Yeah.
40-year-old Bentley, like,
Yeah.
do y'all not think about this stuff? I don't know.
People are very nearsighted.
Yeah, like let's get some longevity out of this name. Like, I'd rather you name them something like everybody, like Grayson or Liam, than Bentley or
Yeah.
Lakin
Yeah. Lakin is a really weird name. I don't know. I also like it just doesn't sound nice to me.
or
Lakin.
gosh, I can't remember her name now. Princess Goddess or something. Whatever one of
Who?
Nick Cannon's 800 children. Her name is like Princess Beautiful or something.
Princess Guy. I mean, I'll have to disagree with you on that one because I think that name is timeless.
I think Kristen's got her baby name picked out.
So, anyways, this has been Kristen's Royal Corner. I
Oh,
hope you
I
all
love it. The
enjoyed it.
Royal Corner.
So yeah, I'll come back eventually with a little review and I'll let you know how it is. It sounds like it's going to be juicy, but then also too, when they have these leaks like this, you wonder like, are these the juiciest stories? Because it's like I already know them now. When I read the book, it's like nothing's going to be crazier than that.
Yeah, I was thinking that too because I feel like, I don't know about you, but I'm not a huge movie trailer watcher. And I do try to avoid them if it's a movie I want to see,
Mhm.
especially because I love thriller horror movies. And I feel like in the trailer, they always give away the best parts.
Mhm.
So then you watch the movie and the movie doesn't seem that good because you already saw everything that was worth seeing.
Right.
So it's like, did I already read everything worth reading?
Right. I don't need to fill in the rest of the the junk that's in there.
Yeah, I don't need to read about your nice horseback riding trip with your mom. I don't care.
But then also with movie trailers, though, I've had experiences recently where I'll see a movie trailer and I'm like, oh my God, that looks so good. I really want to see it. And then a few weeks go by and they release a second new trailer and it's entirely different. And it's like, maybe I don't want to see that. Like the way that y'all just redid it, you had me, but
And then you
then
lost
nah, you
me.
had me on the hook and now I'm off. Because I don't know what it is, but it's just like sometimes, and they like completely change the tone of it. And I'm like, no, I'm not as interested. I don't
It's also
know.
like, what are you putting out the whole freaking movie and the trailers? Like, why do you need two?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Speaking of trailers, though, and then we really will move on. Have you, and I know this is not your genre, but it has, I feel like I've seen it 12 times watching freaking Hulu where it has commercials. For,
Or
I'm sick. Yeah, apparently sometimes Lifetime doesn't allow you to actually not have ads for commercials. Um,
mm,
I know it's annoying, but so there's this movie called Megan that's coming
oh
out.
my God.
You already
Oh
hate it.
I just see pictures of Megan and I saw this like BuzzFeed article that was like Megan is the internet's new favorite haunted doll. Like the internet loves it, loves Megan more than Chucky. And I'm like, I hate both
Uh,
things.
oh, I mean, I wouldn't go that far as Chucky is literally a cult classic that will live on forever, even though the movies are terrible. But it's just like so funny. Like the commercials that you see, there are parts where it's like obvious that she's like scary, but
Uh-huh.
then there are other parts where she's like dancing, and you're just like, what is going on?
Like it might be like a spoof.
Yeah, right. It's like, is this scary movie or is this like Scream? Like, I don't really know 100% what the vibe is.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, I'm very intrigued by that. So I definitely will be watching it. Um,
Also, may I ask why is it M3 again?
I'm assuming because she's like a robot of some sort or like,
Oh,
like AI or something like that. So they like tried to
okay.
keep it like R2D2.
I gotcha. Okay. I didn't know if this was the third one.
No, I
That's
think
what
this is the
I was
first
like, have I
one.
missed the first two? But like there's a lot of like hubbub about Megan. So
Yes, I'm very excited to see that one. Might actually have to go to a theater to even see it, so that's even wilder.
what's that?
I know, right? I've been seeing all the new movies on freaking Paramount Plus, so I'm like, ugh, I have to go out with the peasants and watch movies.
Sit in a dirty old chair.
I know. It really is just because the movie theater here is just not as good as the one in Arlington.
I apologize.
I'll get through it somehow, hopefully.
So speaking of getting through it, someone might have 6.5 years
Of getting through something.
getting through it.
If y'all don't know who we're talking about, you live under the most massive rock that has ever been placed on this planet.
We may be on different quarters of the internet, but if you don't know this, then you are just not on the internet.
Exactly.
And for that, I actually applaud you that you even found this podcast.
Yeah, right. Thank you for listening.
But so,
Oh.
Cassie, break it down for us.
All right, guys, I'm getting really close to the mic because this is serious.
Okay.
Jen Shah has officially been sentenced to 6.5 years. And I am curious to hear, do you think that was a fair amount of time, or do you think they were too lenient?
Are you actually asking me, or is that rhetorical?
No, I'm actually asking
Okay.
you.
So, based on what I've read online, I think I think that was like on the higher end of her sentencing, right? And it's like other people who A have been involved in this case or B who have been convicted of similar crimes, they did not have that long of a sentence. Is that right?
Yes, and I wonder, I would say probably the plea deal helped her to get a lower, like, because I think it was like up to 178 months, I think is what it was, and they ended up giving her
Okay.
like 138 or so. I don't know the exact numbers, but yes, she did not get the maximum. The maximum was definitely a lot lower than what it would have been if she would have continued claiming she was innocent and the trial proved her guilty, so that was smart on her part.
So
Um,
up to this point, is she still maintaining her innocence, or has she dropped that?
I mean, she did plead guilty
Okay.
finally back in, gosh, November, maybe?
Okay.
October? But yeah, that I so I was actually reading an article, when all this stuff was coming out. Actually, pause. I wanna hear your answer. I'm so sorry.
My answer?
Yes, as to if you think it was harsh or not.
No. I mean, I think it's just right because it she's going to have a life eventually. Like, 6 years, she'll get out and she'll have a life and do whatever. However, she also ruined a bunch of other people's lives
Mhm.
in like a really shady way. White collar crime is like so weird because it's like you didn't murder somebody, but
Right.
you also like ruin a lot of other people's lives. So I
Ugh, especially old people.
exactly, yeah. And so I think that I am satisfied with it because I feel like it was just enough because it also sets an example too, where it's like you can't do this and then get, 30 days or
Mhm.
even like probation or anything like that.
Right.
Because it's still like, I mean, her life is ruined now too. But
100%.
it's like she's not going to spend the rest of her life in jail.
Yeah. So, the internet is upset and they think that they were too lenient on her. I agree with you. I don't think it's
Really.
Yeah, I don't think it's too lenient. Um, and I'm assuming also she probably got a higher sentence than, like, most of the other people that were involved just because, like, it was her company. Like,
Hmm.
at the end of the day, regardless of if she knew or not, like, she was responsible because she's operating the business. So I also read, is it I'm gonna sound really stupid, but is it a deposition when the person, like, reads a speech
Uh,
after sentencing?
oh, no. Well, who read a speech? One of the
Jen did.
victims? Oh, no, that would just be like her giving a speech. A deposition is basically like when they're still like gathering evidence. You would give a
Um,
deposition that was like, I saw Cassie walking down the street on Tuesday in a red shirt with a knife in her hand. Like that would be that would be a deposition. But
okay.
like, I don't, I think it does have a name, but basically, did she like read a letter that was like, I'm so sorry? Well, I guess no. Is she if she's saying she's innocent, then she didn't apologize.
Well, no, she remember she entered a guilty
Oh,
plea,
that's right.
so
Yes,
she
yes.
has pled guilty. So it basically was like she said that she felt like she had been ignoring kind of like some mental issues because I think the same year she got caught was like after her dad died, and you could tell she was just like not doing well after that happened. But so she
Mhm.
was alleging that she was ignoring some like mental issues and sort of like disassociated from everything. And now that she's been able to get therapy and get on the right medication, she's able to see clearly now like the wrongdoings of her actions. So I guess that's kind of like her explanation as to like why she didn't stop it when it was happening and why she maintained her innocence. And she apparently started the Justice for Jen sales, like
Huh.
shirts and buttons and whatever, and plans to give all of those proceeds to the victims.
Oh my God.
So it's like you got this money from people buying things that said to free me.
Yeah. But also, why are you making excuses? Like this, like, what do you I get maybe it makes her feel better and it's like part of her healing for her to say, like, I was not right at this point in time when I did these things, but also like, why like save it, Jen. Like, save it.
I know. She's still claiming that she's on
Oh
the next
no.
season of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And I'm just like, what is Andy Cohen gonna come fucking visit you in the penitentiary for like 3 months in a row? Like, what do you mean you're gonna be
Oh
in it? The girls are gonna come talk to you and have conjugal visits.
Yeah, so do you know if anyone from the show was there for her sentencing
I
or
don't know.
anything?
Yeah,
Okay,
I have no idea. Especially because it was in New York. I don't know that any of them would have flown
mm,
out to go see it.
that's true.
But it's I actually think that Whitney talked about in one of the recent episodes about going to see Jim for a conjugal visit. And they were like, no, not a conjugal visit. That's where you have sex. And Whitney was like, so you're gonna go have sex with Jen. Got it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's like the hold on. Okay, sorry, we're back. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the conjugal visits are the ones that you have like without supervision.
Yes, exactly. It's where a husband and a wife are supposed to conjugate, if you will.
That's hilarious. So I guess these were all federal crimes, right? Like these all like she's going to federal prison.
Yeah, so I actually had commented about it on someone's post about like if they thought the sentence if it was like they posted about it and they were like, do you think the sentence is light enough or not? And basically I was just like, I don't I feel like I don't know enough about it to speak on it, but like I feel bad for her and I feel bad for her family, but at the same time, like I understand what she did is really wrong. So I was like, I just like don't like it's hard. I've always liked Jen since the
Yeah.
first episode of freaking Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I just loved her. Her energy is just she's so unique. It's hard. I feel like it's hard not to like Jen even when she's a bitch. So I think there's still a part of me that's like, oh, Jen, come on, girl, come on. But according to someone who responded to my comment, she's trying to go to like a drug facility prison or something so that
What?
she does or a drug rehabilitation prison. I don't know exactly, but apparently the type of crime that she has committed going into whatever facility you normally would go into with that type of charge, there isn't as much opportunity to get time knocked off for good behavior. Like she could
Oh,
maybe knock off like 2 months of her sentence.
okay.
Whereas in this other facility, I think she would be able to probably only be in there for like 3 years, like half the sentence.
Okay.
So I think, oh my gosh, I just remembered something else. Did you read about the restraining order that apparently a woman put
Yes.
out against Jen Shah?
Yeah, but all of this came out just like last week, right?
Yes, I was so shook to my core because if there is one thing that I believed, there had been rumors even on the show that Jen had cheated on her husband. And I was like, I don't care what you think about Jen, I don't care what you say about Jen, but she loves that man. Like she would never cheat on him.
Ouch.
Oh, the devastation that rolled across my body when I heard about this. So, quick summary in case our listeners are not familiar. A woman in Las Vegas, Nevada, I think in 2019, took out a restraining order against Jen. The reason being was that Jen was having an affair with allegedly
Allegedly.
having an affair with this woman's husband. And when the woman found out, she took screenshots of the text messages and sent it to the sweet baby angel coach Shaw. And Jen drove to Las Vegas, Nevada to physically confront this woman on her front porch. So yeah, that's how that happened.
Jen Shah, I mean, like you said, she is just undeniably herself.
That is so true. But yeah, that one really shook me. I was like, what? Jen, come on, girl.
So that, I mean, all that literally came out last week, days before the sentencing. And so the judge took that into consideration during the sentencing, right?
Yes, because I don't remember exactly what happened. I'm assuming the prosecution brought it up. Um,
Yeah.
because for some reason I feel like I read that that's how it like came out because of the trial, not like someone shared it or anything.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Jen.
she built different. So
Yeah,
yeah, I do feel bad for Coach Shaw. I mean, and I mean her kids are, well, she at least has one kid who's
she has
young, right?
she has two kids, I think maybe like 10 and 14.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, they're young, but they're also definitely old enough to understand like what you did and what's going on and why you're going to jail.
Yeah, and I mean they're gonna be adults when she gets out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's crazy to think about.
Whatever happened to her assistant? Remember
Still,
it?
honestly, I don't know. I need to look into that. I'm not entirely sure what happened to him. But on this most recent episode, one of the friends of a friend that ugh, I don't even know why she's there. She's so boring, but she was telling Jen that she knows someone who worked at Jen's company and actually became an FBI informant and worked with the prosecution to establish the case.
What?
And I'm just like, first of all, you're outing an FBI informant?
Yeah, I don't think that's supposed to happen.
Do you want to join Jen in the penitentiary, girl? Because,
Dude,
but
I
yeah,
want to be an FBI informant.
we
That'd be
are.
fun. Oh, true.
That's what we do here. We're the FBI daily.
So you also have some new information to share as an informant based on Miss Heather and her
Yes.
medical situation going on. What's going on with her?
Okay. So I saw multiple TikToks and even in the comments, um, that these are people who aren't like you wouldn't know who they are, but they're like in the scene. So like one of them is allegedly a makeup artist that has been on set a couple of times during the reunions, so they're like in the know, but not like I could tell you they're and like, oh, it was Jeffree Star, but you're not gonna know who these people are because I don't even remember their names. But so the first one that I saw said that he heard from three reliable sources that are frequently around the housewives of Salt Lake City that Heather actually hit her eye on a faucet in her bathroom,
Ooh.
allegedly multiple times while she was blackout drunk.
On accident, I'm assuming she's like washing her face or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but she is still being
She hasn't
shady
admitted it.
about it.
Yep, hasn't admitted to it.
Oh my. So she still is like kind of putting it out there that it may have been one of the other housewives that did it.
Yes, and that's what people are getting upset about is because they feel like Bravo is allowing her to continue dragging on this storyline of abuse.
Uh-huh.
Um, if it is abuse, it needs to be addressed. If it's not abuse, you need to tell the world that it's not abuse. Like
Yes.
you literally have us all over here like which one of these housewives is actually a fucking maniac and hit Heather in the eye when
Right.
the fact of the matter is that none of them did.
And she was just blacked out and actually did it. Interesting.
I assume that she was embarrassed by her behavior of being completely blackout and is like trying to like play it off and all this like bullshit. But girl, you were
But
literally smashing your titties together with Jen Shah on camera. We all saw your boobs multiple times. Like,
oh
you might
my
as well just
gosh.
own up to it at this point, you know?
That's what I was going to say is that she is digging herself a mighty deep hole by like I hate when people do that they're just like so committed to this lie and it's just like you are the hole that you're in is so deep and it's so annoying because there's never going to be any truth coming out because you will never admit to it and we're just always going to think that someone else did it.
Right. Her memoir actually came out recently too, Bad Mormon, I believe. And as
Ooh.
many of you saw on our story, people have been changing it to Bad Storyline.
That's funny. Oh my gosh, I'm intrigued.
Yes.
But
So
what would she have like what would she have to write about though?
so she used to be very Mormon. She used to be like hardcore Mormon. And
Yeah.
so when she got divorced, she got excommunicated from the church. And like some of her family won't talk to her and like it's
Okay, that's tough. Never mind.
We are not Heather Gay stans, but we will admit that her struggles are real.
So on Salt Lake City, aren't they all Mormon, like except for Jen Shah?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Meredith and Lisa are both Jewish. Whitney
Oh.
is
Okay.
ex-Mormon. Yeah,
And
that's
then
all
is
I
Heather
know.
is she still
I think her name is
Mormon-ish?
still, yeah, I think that her name is still on the list, but she doesn't practice or go to church or temple
What?
or whatever it's called there.
Okay. Okay. Well, interesting. What I might have. Oh, it doesn't have very good reviews.
I,
Her.
I can't say I'm surprised. I'm like, girl,
Her
did you at least
memoir.
have a ghostwriter?
Let's hope so. Let's hope. Oh gosh. Okay, so just keeping it rolling with the housewives tea.
I know.
There's another announcement that I saw that actually see, I'm not really on the housewives corner of the internet, but this was actually big news that I did see it, and it involves the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yes, it was a rough week for the Real Housewives franchise. Miss Lisa Rinna is quote unquote leaving the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after 8 seasons.
That is so crazy to me just because as someone who really isn't that deep into the Housewives franchise, to me she seems like such an icon. Like
Yes,
she's one of the OGs.
right. So I can't remember exactly what season she joined in, but obviously it was 8 seasons ago, and I think they're on like
Right.
I don't even know. Beverly Hills has been on for a while. I would guess 12, 14,
Wow,
somewhere in
yeah.
between there. Um, Lisa Rinna this last season, however, was messy, messy, messy. I don't necessarily think I think it was the straw that broke the camel's back, if I'm being honest, because the season before that, she really went after Denise Richards.
Ooh.
Um, it was a whole thing. Like
Mhm.
Denise Richards, like fucking lost her shit. There were rumors that she had a threesome with one of the old housewives and her husband, and it was all nuts.
Lord.
But yeah, people felt like Lisa turned on Denise and Denise got on the show because her and Lisa had been friends for 20, 30 years. They've known each other forever.
Mhm.
And she just like completely just like turned her back on her and was like, whatever. So then this season, it was Miss Kathy Hilton that Lisa Rinna decided to take down. And it oh my gosh, Kristen, it was awful. So I guess they went to Vale, I think, and they went to this club bar. It seems pretty exclusive. Like you have to be wearing certain attire or they won't let you in.
Mhm.
And so Kathy Hilton went up to the DJ and asked him to play Black or White by Michael Jackson. Um, and he said no. And so
Okay.
then Kathy Hilton tried to pay him for the request and he still said no. And so she got really pissed and started going off on Kyle, who's her sister. And and apparently, like, the whole club saw it. Like, everybody saw her just like cussing her sister out, like being like, you're a fucking piece of shit, like all this jazz.
Oh my
And then
God.
Lisa Renner rode home with Kathy Hilton, and she claims that Kathy was throwing such a temper tantrum that she had to lock herself in her room because she didn't feel safe. She
Oh
said she
my
threw her
God.
glasses on the ground and started jumping up and down and like crushing them, and that no matter what, she was going to take down her sister and their whole family, and she was going to take down Bravo, and she was going to take down NBC and all this stuff.
Oh my God.
There's obviously no proof because it was just the two of them, but she just held on to it the whole season. Like she ended up leaving a party early because she didn't want to be around Kathy Hilton, and um it was a whole thing. Her and Erica just ran with it, and we all know Erica Jane only ran with it because she was like, please stop asking me about the orphans that my husband stole money from. So she was like, you talk about somebody else. So I honestly would not be surprised if Bravo actually asked her to just not come back.
Yeah. Is that something that has happened before where it's just like they're not on the next season because you think that Bravo was just like, yeah, no, you're done.
100%.
Okay. So there this is not unprecedented.
No, no. It's just like Beverly Hills. Oh my God. They had fucking Carlton. Kristen, I'm gonna have to figure out which season it is because I just need you to watch one episode with this woman just to understand. She is so freaking scary and she hated Kyle and she like literally was like talking about like putting curses on her and stuff. It was
Oh my
fucking nuts.
God.
But like I honestly don't believe that she asked to not come back. I genuinely believe they were like, this is not gonna work. Like you should
Wow.
not continue. I'm sure there's been well, Vicky Gunvalson was fired. I think Tamara Judge was fired. Brandy Glanville was probably fired. Like,
Mhm. Interesting. And wasn't it such a big deal too that they just brought back Beverly Hills with a lot of these like kind of OG women?
no, I mean the
Maybe I'm
only
thinking of
thing
another one.
the oh you're thinking about Miami
Okay. There we
because
go.
its first season was last year, kind of summertime, I think, and
Uh-huh.
they did bring it back with the OG cast.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, Beverly Hills is slipping a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Interesting. Okay.
I felt like they kept Lisa Rinna on to hopefully continue a storyline, you know? And
Yeah.
now they're just like it's gotten too messy that like when she came into BravoCon, she came in walking like this with her middle fingers up in the air because everybody was booing her.
Oh my God. And you think that Bravo would embrace something like that? So that's saying something that they're like, okay, yeah, no, we're done.
I think if the people hate them enough, they're like, okay, y'all are gonna stop watching if we keep this bitch on the show. So
All right. Well, this has been a busy week
I know.
in Real Housewives world. Is there anything else that we need
God,
to
I
catch
hope
up
not.
on?
I hope not.
So hopefully it's a nice, calm few next days with Housewives because Lord knows there's a lot to keep up with.
Yes, they can't handle any more
So
information.
we do have some fun content coming up on the Instagram page. Cassie came out with this amazing idea. This is her brainchild. Do you want to tell them about our little Christmas post that we have coming up?
Yeah, so by the time, like Kristen said earlier, we're filming our movie premiere. We're recording this on Sunday, so we will be posting on Monday the top 4 Christmas presents that we got this year. We took a poll and everyone wanted to hear about it, so everyone's gonna hear about it.
I love a
That'll be
little
on Monday.
haul though. I love watching people's little hauls and stuff. So maybe that's what they like. And I mean, I feel special. Like I will show you my little Christmas gift haul.
100%. And it's like making me want to do more. Like I got a $200 gift card for Amazon as one of my Christmas presents. So like y'all know I'm about to buy.
Goodness.
Yeah. My family does too much for Christmas. But anyway, so I have a couple of things on my list that I'm very excited about, especially for my work from home girlies.
Ooh, yeah.
So I'll keep y'all updated on that. Um, and then I'm also going to be doing my sleep essentials because everybody wanted to hear about that as well. And these
Yes.
are like 4 or 5 products that like I swear you get them, you trust me, you listen to me, and you will have better sleep.
Is one of them the purple mattress?
It is not because that is in Arlington, so unfortunately I cannot include that.
Okay. Um, well, that is really exciting. I'm excited to hear more about it. Now, was we're talking about Christmas gifts. The dip powder, was that a Christmas gift? Is that something that you wanted to talk about today?
Yes, I'm gonna keep it brief, guys. I really am because I'm gonna do a whole video on this because I'm coming for you, Paris Hilton. I'm pointing at
Ooh.
you in the camera. I'm coming for you.
You're
I
like you're
don't
like
know
Lisa Rinna coming after her mama.
exactly. Oops. I shouldn't go after a Hilton if Lisa taught us anything. So I don't know if she actually owns the brand or if she's just like an ambassador for them or something. But if any of you have seen Nail Boo, Also, I know my mom's listening to this. So, first and foremost, I will say it was a great gift idea. I was so excited when I opened it. My mom knows how much I love having my nails done. I've been doing a lot of press ons and things like that. So, she gets me. It was a great gift. So, thank you, mother, for that. But it's terrible. It's awful. It sucks. It's not easy to use. It is even harder to get off. Um, and I'll leave it at that for now because I'm gonna have a whole video. I'm even show y'all the pictures of my nasty, lumpy ass thick nails. Oof.
So you guys have that to look forward to. Now,
Yeah.
are you completely turned off from like at home dip kits now just because of this one experience?
Honestly, a little bit. Just because I have also done the gel ones before.
Hmm.
And I know that my girlies understand when I have gotten my nails done for the past 10 years, probably. Like, let's
Hmm.
be real. How is it possible that I do exactly the same exact things with the same type of tools that they use at the nail salon, but yet mine look disgusting or last only 1 to 2 days? It's not adding up to me. I think there is something essential that they're keeping out of the products. I don't know exactly what it is.
I was going to say it's got to be something like to just keep us going back to the nail salon.
Exactly. And that's where I will say, girlies, honestly, if you want to have fly ass nails, go to the nail salon or hit me up for how to get the press on nails to stay because these little Frenchies that I have on right now,
Ooh, love, yes.
kiss press on nails. And these are one of my favorites because they come with these little tabs on them.
Uh,
So when you're putting the nail on, you can use the tab to like easily pick it up and put it on and whatever.
oh.
Um, so let's go for the press-ons, girls. Okay. I promise you I figured it out. I'm willing and able to share any tips. And I can also recommend my favorite brands thus far. But yeah, don't get nail boo. It's a waste of money.
So y'all can look forward to that on our Instagram page.
And Kristen has a fun one to share or allude to, I should say.
Oh, yes. I'm really excited for this because I feel like y'all are really going to like it. So, we have, of course, Valentine's Day is coming up. I know a lot of people have kind of like mixed feelings about Valentine's Day or they just straight up hate it. I, for one, I'm kind of a fan of Valentine's Day. I think it's cute and
Okay.
fun, regardless of your relationship status.
Okay.
Um, so let's just say I put a little care package together for a little Valentine's Day present for someone. So keep an eye on our Instagram page and we will be letting you guys know how you can get a little Valentine's Day care package from yours truly. I'm very
Yes.
excited with
And,
lots of good stuff.
and might I add that there's going to be some fun Gossip Girlies content in the basket.
Love content.
So pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. Pay attention.
We got a lot of good stuff coming, and that's all we do in 2023 is just putting goodness out into the world.
We busy.
We booked and busy. Um,
Let's
all
get
right.
to the meat and potatoes.
So yes, if y'all listened last week, you know that this week we are talking about The Circle. Cassie and I both love The Circle. We are now on season 5 of the show. I don't think they haven't shown the finale yet. We're still kind of like halfway in between.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be real. I think I only made it through like episode 2 or 3. Was watching it last night and woke up and it was still on. And so I missed an unknown amount of time.
Okay, so we know how Kristen feels about this season.
Dude, I'm gonna be real. I was thinking about it. No one really has caught my heart really. I mean, I find them all like generally likable. Um Raven, of course, I love her. I feel like everyone loves her. And I literally was thinking when they're doing the introductions at the very beginning of the season, I was like, I wonder how that would work if they were ever to have someone who is deaf or blind or something on the circle. And then here comes Miss Raven. And I'm like, this
They
is
heard your
fun.
askings.
Yes. Well, because I mean, like everything in this world, we need to diversify. They had a little person on one of the seasons. I feel like we could spice it up a little bit. Um, so I made it so far to where we have Miss Jennifer, aka Brett and Santi together, who might be like the two least likable people I've ever seen on the circle. Am I wrong on that?
Okay.
Do you disagree?
Well, I'm going to support you first and foremost because I'm going to be honest. I started watching it maybe a few days ago and I completely zoned out and like forgot about it. And I looked up and it was on episode 6 and I was like, what the fuck's going on? So I agree. But what I will say to you and to everyone out there listening, just make it past episode 3. I promise it gets better. You just gotta
Really?
push through a
Okay.
little bit because I felt exactly the same way. I even literally wrote in my notes over here, like about how it just took me a while to find anybody that I actually liked. What I will say is I don't agree with you on Zandy,
Xanthi.
Xanthi. See, I don't even know her name. I mean, I don't love her, but Brett, however, immediately hated him. Immediately.
Which is surprising because I really think just based on the last few seasons, the fuck boys kind of make it far-ish. So I
I
was kind of
think
surprised
he
that he got blocked day one.
I think he took it too far. I think he one didn't say enough, so they had
Yeah.
to go off of like the very small impression that they did have. And thinking about especially like Joey, like one of the best winners of the circle. Loved him. He was a fuck boy, but he
Mhm.
also had like this soft, gushy center to him that made him likable. I don't think Brett has that.
That's really, really true. Like if Joey kind of had the like fuckboy exterior, but if you like got him in a personal chat and you were like, Joey, I am missing a leg, he'd be like, oh my, he'd be like, oh my God, like that's so crazy. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yes.
Whereas Brett would be like, okay.
So, like, do you have a fake one?
Then how do you go to the club and
Yeah.
to work on guys all night?
So, how do you go to the pool party?
The fakest pool parties. Goodness.
Oh God, I couldn't stand him. I will say the ones that grew on me though were actually Sam. I really like her.
She's really rough around the edges. I can see myself like warming up to her for sure.
Yes, yes. And then of course Chaz and Raven. This is my kind of theory I would say about why I feel like it was hard to like anyone off the bat on this season. It took I want to say at least 3 or 4 episodes for someone to finally just say something fucking emotional. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like I'm just sitting here thinking, like, do you guys not watch the previous seasons? Like, this is how people win. They talk about the struggles that they went through to get here. They
Mm-hmm.
talk about they're here because their whole family's house burnt down in a fire. Like, that is how you win. You pull at the heartstrings, people like you, and then they keep you around.
Right.
And it was finally like the 3rd or 4th episode where Chaz finally was like, I
Oh,
became a
about
nurse. His brother
because his
died.
brother died. But also
Yes.
Chaz isn't actually a nurse.
I know. He quit nursing school. He did do that.
But okay, I did make it that far. And it
Yeah.
like, I mean, Chaz was already very likable too, but he
Yes.
also too, like, it turns out that he's either gay or bi, one of the two. So I feel like a lot of people are like starting to, relate to him on that. But that's a really good point. He was the first one who really came out and said, like, that this is like a deeper part, but I think also deadass it was during that truth or dare game that they were playing,
Yep.
and the question was like, what's something that like
We
people
don't know
wouldn't know
about
about
you.
you? Yeah. So it's
And
like,
then, oh my God. And then that's when Samantha really won me over. She was like, damn, I was over here talking about shitting in a bathtub.
just like, I got blackout drunk, pooped in the bathtub, and made poop
Poop
angels.
angels. She was like, damn, that was deep. I was going to talk about pooping in the tub.
I will say I did like her intro when she was like, "I'm here for the girls who have to shave their big toes."
Yes. You know those four hairs? That's me.
But
And I
she
love how she came out and she was like, "Do I have a booger? Don't make me look silly on TV." And I'm like, "Girl, your whole nipples are out. Like, you don't need to be worried about a booger."
uh, but see, it makes me nervous though because I think she's a little bit too aggressive. You know, like she had beef with who Marvin, I guess, like because Marvin was gonna block her.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So she's
She
like,
definitely.
okay, Marvin, like, fuck you. Like, don't talk to me, Marvin. I'm like, you're not gonna win that way, Sam.
She definitely tones it down. They have a conversation, they make up. I think she kind of realizes like, okay, like maybe I don't have to kiss people's ass and brown nose, but I can also just be like a little softer. I think that
Yeah.
she's probably been through some things in her life that like have led her to be just like super hard all the time. But and then later in the episodes, I think I made it to episode 6 maybe.
Okay.
Raven talks about how her mom died a few years ago,
Oh
and oh my god, so you don't know who came back?
no. Who came from like a previous season?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Do you want me to tell you or do you want to watch it?
Uh, is it a famous person?
I mean, famous from the show.
Okay, yeah, you can tell me.
Shuby comes back.
No way!
Yes. And he
Yeah.
plays as a catfish named Sasha.
Oh my gosh, Shuby.
Yes, I was so
Oh my
excited. They
gosh.
literally only showed his feet and his suitcase, and I just fucking knew it was him.
That is so funny. I loved him so much. I'm surprised he didn't win that year, but
He
that
was
was Joey's
second. Yeah,
season.
exactly. Joey won and he was second.
That was such a good
It
season.
really was. It really was.
Oh my
Yeah,
Shuby.
they have him
Oh
playing
my
a
gosh.
girl.
Oh Lord. He's not gonna last very long.
I
I'm
know.
sorry.
I thought they were gonna have him coming on here as like someone who like got voted off relatively early from another season. You know, like they were gonna have him playing like Chloe or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just some random girl who's like a tech blogger or something.
I love it. Like, I feel like that is not going to go well for Shuby. Love him to death, but I just don't think he can pull it off. But also, I love how Xanthi was like, I'm a model, but I'm going to lie and say that I'm a preschool teacher, like,
Right?
catfish. And I'm like,
I'm
stop
like, girl, who is
catfishing.
gonna look at you and think that you are a fucking preschool teacher with your titties hanging out in every photo?
But also, I mean, maybe Brittany is already gone. Brittany is not long for this world.
No.
Her dad, what's it, Brian?
Brian, yeah, he did get voted off. And he went to see Raven. And they really hit it off. It was really cute.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
that's
very sweet.
cute.
It was cute.
Okay, I mean, I'm obviously going to keep watching, but it hasn't captured my heart just yet. But also I know too, as soon as they've already had a lot of curveballs thrown in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the very first blocking, I thought that was really
Yeah.
clever. Like you had to, put who you would block if you were the influencer, then tell everyone who you would block. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about Marvin? You don't
I
like him?
hate him. No, no, I don't like him. He's way too cocky.
Hmm.
And so him and Raven have like a little thing going on. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, these two other girls show up, and all of a sudden, he's interested in them too. And I'm just like, and he's like, oh, I hope Raven doesn't find out about this. And I'm like, this is on fucking national television, international television, excuse me.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Well, I like him obviously because he is my brother in braces, so I got to support him on that. But he needs to put a shirt on, is what needs
I
to happen.
know. I'm like, we get it. You're buff. Leave us
Yeah.
alone.
I'm excited that I feel like I hope they do another like celebrity person this time
That was
because
so fun.
I think it's fun when they do that, even though it's random and like, even though, well, last year they had that one dude who was like the radio guy. Oh God, what was his name?
Oh,
Hit. Oh God, it started. I think it started with a Z or like had a Z in it
hold
somewhere.
on. Let me Google.
because he was like kind of famous, but kind of not. But like people didn't really know who he was.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm like, also Bruno. I hate Bruno
No, yeah, we
or
don't. Mm-mm. She literally is just like hanging on by the skin of her teeth or whatever the saying is.
yeah, by just middling. I also
Literally.
I think it's stupid when people like that catfish with like someone random. Like it makes more sense to me when Brian is catfishing as his daughter. That makes
Yes.
sense. But when you just pick some random dude, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, also it was sweet because like when he met with Raven, he like told her like, I was doing this to like win the money for my daughter and my granddaughter and all this stuff.
Oh
Was it this guy?
God,
Josh
what?
Brubaker?
Yeah, Brew.
Brew,
Yeah.
yes,
I don't know where I got
yes.
Z from, but yeah, Brew. Yeah. He was cool. He was a
Yeah.
good. I feel well. Also, I remember you and I definitely said this when it was like season two, because season one the characters were so good,
Yeah.
and then season two came along and we were like, but they're not season one. Yeah, it's kind of just like I guess I do just have to like watch long enough until I like latch on with one of the characters and
Right.
like
That's
really
and
get
that's
down
what
with
takes
them.
this season is definitely the longest it's taken for me for sure. But I obviously loved the Spice Girls being on last time, but I will never love anything more than fucking Lance Bass's personal assistant coming and pretending to be him. And then her and that skinny dude coming back to play that gay old man.
Oh
That's the
yeah.
shit I want to see. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see two 20 something hot boy and girl living together. Like, that's boring. I want an old woman and a young boy. I want an old man and a gay younger boy with an afro. Like, I don't know. Like, I want some dynamics.
I know. And I'm just going to say what everyone's thinking. I immediately thought as soon as Xanthi and what's his nuts, Brett moved in together, I'm like, how long is it going to take before they hook up?
I know. I like kind of don't want to ruin it and look up if they are actually dating. But yeah, there it's like I'll give it a 99.9% chance.
It's especially why I also just do not like either of their personalities. And they're like, because what's just Xanthi? From what I've seen, it's mostly just Xanthi doing like saying whatever as Jennifer, and Brett's like, oh, yeah, 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 that's good. I'm like,
Yeah, he's like, yeah, add the catfish emoji.
that is so funny. So I don't know if we've ever talked about this. Do you feel like you would go far on the circle?
Honestly, I do. I honestly feel like I could win that shit. I really
Really?
do.
You just
Just
like be able to
because,
play it?
yeah, like also I just like I'm a recruiter and my job is literally to like I don't want to say manipulate because that sounds bad. But like I'm good at persuading people to do things.
Okay.
And like, I just have to be able to read people. Like I have to like read the unspoken of someone over the phone. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, they're saying one thing, but I know that they're meaning something else. Like you got to know how to read people.
Right. And that is
Uh,
exactly why I would not make it far at all because I do not think like deeply enough. I would just be saying whatever. And it's like you watch the show and people are like, "Oh, she put hashtag girl gang," but like that doesn't really mean that she, is really going to have my back. Whereas like I would just be saying whatever.
You're like sitting here like relying on an alliance you made 6 weeks ago.
Exactly.
You're
Yeah.
like me and Bob, I think the first day said we had each other's back. So I think I'm good.
Meanwhile, Bob he's getting ready to block my
Yeah,
ass.
right. He's like,
Like,
we should get Kristen out.
I definitely would not make it far at all.
Oh my
But
gosh.
but it also makes me laugh too, how it's like you can very clearly tell that they had only been in the circle for like a day and they're already like, oh, Marvin was gonna block me, but
You're
we made
right.
such a good connection. And it's like
Yes,
y'all exchange like maybe two words to each other.
exactly. Yes, I do hate that. I'm like, y'all relax.
So I don't know. I don't know if they like if there's a lot of conversations that happen that we just don't know about, but I don't know. That part just seems like very unbelievable to me.
I know it's like y'all were in the group chat for like 5 messages. Like how are you offended?
You know? How do you either already have an alliance or already hate each other?
Exactly. You're like already going for Sam for why? Because her picture. Oh, that's what Marvin said because her pictures looked filtered, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, if you don't have a filtered picture in here, you're sus to me.
you're putting your best foot forward. Like, come on.
Like you're in the circle putting raw ass pictures of you up there. I
No, you know it at
mean,
least has the Paris filter on it. Like, come on.
got something. You mess with the exposure, something.
Exactly. Structure, sharpened, all that good stuff.
All right. Well, I'm excited to keep watching. Do you want to keep talking about the circle next week?
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure there will be more developments.
Yeah, it always gets so much juicier towards the end, especially.
Honestly, they are the last episode I watched was episode 5, I think. And that outro, I'm telling you, they were
Ooh.
laying it on thick.
I hope to. Every time I feel like there is either like too many people in the circle towards the end, or they like add people too late to where
Yes,
it's
I
like
hate that.
you're messing with the mojo here. So hopefully they avoid those things. We'll see.
Yeah, I hate that. It's like there's like 3 episodes left and they're bringing in 2 new people, and you're like, how are they supposed to win?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dumb.
And I like it's so much better when there's only like, 5 or 6 people versus like 8 or 9. It's just like this
Yeah,
is too many people for my little brain to keep up with.
exactly. I'm like, I have to remember how to drive a car. I can't remember all of these people, okay?
We got the real problems.
Exactly.
Alrighty. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about this week that you wanted to gossip about?
I don't think so.
Alrighty. Well, that will do it for episode 2 of Gossip Girlies. We hope y'all enjoyed. Thanks as much as always for listening. Shout out Cassie. You can literally listen to us anywhere. Literally, I don't think there's a single platform that we're not on. Is that
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I did all the ones I could find.
But if there's some platform we're missing by some slim chance, let us know and I'm sure we can get us on there. But if you're enjoying listening to us, please give us a 5-star review. If you're listening, I definitely Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I'm sure that there are other platforms out there where you can rate us as well. And like we talked about earlier, you better be following us on Instagram at Gossip Girlies XO and possibly even have like post notifications on because shit's about to pop off on the gram.
Exactly. Y'all better be ready.
I don't think they're ready. I don't think they are.
I don't think you're ready for this jelly.
We needed that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, on that note, thanks guys as listening. We hope you enjoyed and we will talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
XOXO Gossip Girlies.